welcome to another Jack Westin question of the day. My name is Sadaf, and on my channel, uh, which does not have a lot of viewers, hopefully not yet, but whoever finds it on a replay as well, hopefully uh, finds it useful. I'm studying for the MCAT, and I'm also taking a few courses, and I will be applying to medical school next year. So this is why I started the channel, mainly to keep me productive and just in check, that I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to be doing, and it's sort of kind of a little bit fun, make it interesting for myself. And whoever finds this channel, make it interesting for them. I tend to ramble on, and I probably should write like a script that I do in the beginning of these. And I did say that I was going to do them daily, but I missed yesterday because it was a Saturday, and I was busy doing other stuff. And I might just do that, or I might try to do them early in the day so that I can, if I get busy later, then I've not missed them. Because it's really, I think this is helping me. And the other thing that I've been doing is reading a lot of articles and not magazine, newspaper articles, like just articles from anywhere, just and trying to synthesize them, trying to see what the main points of those articles are. And I go through that on Fridays, and I pick some serious articles and some non-serious articles, some light, less somber articles. And it's just like news from the world. Like I've got like a subscription to some of the main news outlets. And so I found it useful. Like I go through them anyways because I want to know what's going on in the world, being aware of and reading I find rather than watching sometimes a little bit better, but it's also good to be reading as much as possible, I suppose, and trying to understand what the article is trying to get at, I suppose. I hope that my broadcast is okay because it keeps telling me that the internet, that the live, it keeps telling me that the connection is weak or something. I mean, I'm not getting an alert or something, but hopefully, hopefully it's okay. I'm gonna check it out in the replay and make sure that everything's fine. As you can see, I have the background again for where the kind of room that most people will be writing their MCAT exams. This is actually, I think, taken from the Pearson website who schedules the exams. I'm not sure if it's actually like the rooms that Pearson has shown, like the cubicles and computer screens, and just to get into a little bit of feeling and preparation for the room that I'll be writing the MCAT exam in. And again, this is like just the CARS practice. I've been trying to set up something that I can live broadcast also my daily study, and not like probably being silent and just following the Pomodoro style format where usually my study for 55 minutes and then take like a 5-minute break. Just because I was told that that's actually better for studying when you're studying for MCAT and in medical school as well. And I found that 25 minutes little, too small. I'll see, I'll see, I'll put it out and see if anybody watches them and anybody comments whether 25 minutes is better or 55 minutes like I do usually is better, but I can do either or. It's just figuring out what camera to use, and I'm completely a novice in terms of posting stuff on YouTube and, especially live broadcasting. So I'm wetting my feet sort of with, doing these live broadcasts, without it being actually anything you can see in my room or myself. I think I probably will most likely not be showing myself on the internet. I'm not brave enough. And those people who do it, wow, they're very brave, and they also have figured out their content, and they're way more prepared. I am not prepared. I don't have a script, and I kind of ramble on and gab on, without any prepared script. However, for the Friday stream that I'm gonna be doing, I've already bookmarked all the stories, the news stories that I'm going to talk about. And I didn't go through all of it, right? Because this will be also like the first time me reading through the whole article, sort of, and partial articles. Some of the articles are very long. And but I'm still going to highlight, like go through it and highlight specific parts and possibly not show you the whole article and just maybe some images from it or some videos that are embedded in the articles, just so that it's visually more interesting for people to watch. And then I concentrate on reading it. So I'm trying to be more prepared, more polished, so that it's both I said fun. Reading, like, it's a non-study, but it's not really like the topics are not fun, but I said fun because it is non-study material, right? So it's news articles, and I did pick some somber, serious ones and some not so serious ones. And um yeah, and there are like no specific field is like it's not like all science or it's not all politics or something like that. It's just it's like a mishmash. It's whatever I found. When I was reading, I was like, oh, I can talk about this. I find this interesting. I want to read it more. That sort of a thing. Okay, so let's get into today's question. I'm going to start sharing the screen and read through it. It will be most helpful if you pull up the Jack Westin website, and when I pull it up, you'll see the address of where you can find the questions, because it's probably better if you go through it yourself, and you can lower my volume or you can um, mute me for that period of time that I'm reading possibly the passage, and then we can go through the questions together. And I think that would be most helpful for people doing this if they're doing it along with me. All right, so I'm going to share the screen. All right, so I'm making sure that I'm sharing the screen. Yep, I see that I'm sharing the screen and I can hear myself speaking, so that's terrific. And okay, so right here, you see jackweston.com/daily MCAT practice passages, CARS practice, and they will have like a passage. They have passages for other subjects um, as well, like out of the other disciplines out of the 5 that they test. But I just do the CARS practice, and I concentrate on the Kaplan books and the AMC material that they have for the other disciplines, physics and math, biochemistry, biology, behavioral sciences. Those ones I do it through the Kaplan books because I haven't gone through all of them yet. And that's what I was talking about, that I would love to just record myself and like a study with me where I just study like just for motivation because I have it would motivate me too if there was a camera watching me and I found I find your videos useful, the study with me videos when I'm studying. So in any case, I hope you have this pulled out on your screen in another window, hopefully, and then you can do it along with me. So this is labeled as history and literature. And I've been told that this is what the screen is going to look like, which is massively, I mean, like if this is what the screen will look like if when you're giving the MCAT, where you have the passage and you have the questions, then like good job for Jack Westin for putting it out there. And I think it's helpful to just even go through this to actually even practice on this format, just to get a sense of what it's going to be like. So you're more prepared and you're not like surprised by the format, and trying to get a grasp of that rather than focusing on the question. So this one has 6 questions, and I'll start reading. The novel is in decline. Since the outbreak of World War II, the statistics of the book trade reflect the growing appetite of the public for biography, science, sociology, and history, especially contemporary history. Since 1964, nonfiction has outsold fiction by 2 to 1. The categories concerned with reality all show greater increases than fiction. After the 2 world wars, man has only grown increasingly disillusioned with himself. The unlimited lethal power of nuclear weapons has been exacerbated by the frightening pressure of overpopulation. And we are now faced with mounting evidence that we cannot stop despoiling our environment. The downturn in demand for fictional literature is a consequence, I believe, of the recent history of bad news. Overcome by doubt of human purpose and divine purpose, man doubts his capacity to be good or even to survive. Literature naturally reflects this sense of self-disgust. The literary world is now filled with books that distort reality. They are epitomized. I can say it better. Come on, I can say it better. Epitomized by a recent mainstream novel advertised as an engrossing treatment for more or less random adventures touching on thievery, sadism, and voyeurism. Fiction's preferred characters are the dialects of life in whose affairs or ultimate fate it is impossible to sustain interest. They are anti-heroes who reflect a general sense of man as victim. The novelist today claims he cannot honestly create a protagonist who is master of his fate and captain of his soul because that image of man seems obsolete. That man belonged to the self-confident 19th century, whereas the 20th century finds its heroes in losers. Reading, which is to say, writing, is the greatest gift with which man has endowed himself. Are we to spend it picking through garbage of humanity? Its unbalanced depiction of human activity and motive is costing fiction its audience. We don't care about these losers, and so we stop reading novels. Certainly, the squalid and worthless are part of the human story. just as the dregs are part of wine, but the wine is what counts. But as tragic as this state of affairs presents an opportunity for history to take literature's place as the major presenter of man's role in society. Historians have performed this role before. Although we have no figures on readership in classical Greece and Rome, it is evident from their continuers and imitators and from later references that Herodotus, Thucydides, Plutarch, Livy, and others were significant voices to their contemporaries. Historians start with a great advantage over fiction writers, in that our characters, being public, are important. They are the captains and kings, saints and fanatics, traders and explorers, thinkers and creators. They may be evil or corrupt or mad or stupid, but at least by virtue of circumstance or chance or office or character, they matter. They are actors not acted upon and are consequently that much more interesting. This is not to say that history excludes the squalid and depraved, but being concerned as it is with reality and subject as it is to certain disciplines, it deals with these in proportion to the whole. Historians provide a one-way screen on the past through which one can see man at one time or another committing every horror, indecency, or idiocy that he is capable of today, but it also flashes beacon lights along the way to the future, and it is a useful nostrum against despair. With literature lost, the task can fall to historians to tell what the human story is about. Okay, so this is written by Barbara Tuchman, and it's called Practicing History, and it was written in 1981, although I would say, I mean, wouldn't it really apply today, right? Anyways, that's not important. What's important is that we go through these questions and we focus on the article and not our feelings about it. Okay, so Herodotus and um, Thucydides, okay, Greek sounding names. Paragraph 5 are mentioned in the passage as evidence that historians usually write about exciting characters. Historians can objectively describe a society's past. Historians can help understand themselves. Historians write about gods, heroes, and traitors. Okay. So in paragraph 5, when they mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, this one. I could have just looked at the name instead of counting the paragraph. Although we have no figures on readership in classical Greece and Rome, it is evident from their continuers and imitators and from later references that Herodotus, Thucydides, Plutarch, Livy, and others were significant voices to their contemporaries. So are these historians? Livy is the only one I recognize, but as tragic as this is, the state of affairs presents an opportunity for history to take literature's place as the major presenter of man's role in society. Historians have performed this role before. Although we have no figures on readership in classical Greece and Europe, it is evident from their continuers and imitators that from later references that Herodotus, Thucydides, Plutarch, Livy, and the others were significant voices to their contemporaries. Okay, so these seem like they're historians, and they are influencing or they're shaped the voices of current historians or contemporaries. Herodotus and Thucydides in paragraph 4 are mentioned in the passage as evidence that historians usually historians can objectively describe a society's past Historians can help understand themselves, can help people understand themselves. I like this answer because it says right here, this state of affairs presents an opportunity for history to take literature's place as a major presenter of man's role in society. Man's role in society can be help people understand themselves. Okay, so we are correct. This answer is the right one because the two figures mentioned are historians that the passages argues interpret man's role in society. Terrific. What is the significance in the passage of the idea that humanity is doing a lot of damage to the environment? What is the significance in the passage of the idea that humanity is doing a lot of damage to the environment? Um, humanity's doing significance of the passage of the idea that human. Okay, so where is after the two world war, man has growing increasing delusions with himself. The unlimited lethal power of nuclear weapons has been exacerbated by the frightening pressure of air pollution, and we now face with mounting evidence that we cannot stop despoiling our environment. Okay. The downturn in demand for fictional literature is a consequence, I believe, of this recent history of bad news, overcome by doubt of human purpose and divine purpose. Man doubts his capacity to be good or even to survive. Literature naturally reflects this sense of self-disgust. Okay, so whatever they were writing about, it's made them feel people destroy the environment, they're destructive, they're not good, they're no good. So how can they believe and how can they read stuff about heroes, right? Okay. It helps explain the decline of the novel. Okay. Yeah. It suggests why history is compelling. No. It shows the return of classical history status. No. It shows why readers are unhappy with literature. Okay. This is probably, I would say, after the two worlds, it's between A and D for me. After the two world wars, man has only grown increasingly delusion with himself. The unlimited lethal power of nuclear weapons has been da, 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 da. The downturn in demand for fictional literature is a consequence, I believe, of this recent history of bad news. Overcome by doubt of human purpose in divine purpose, man doubts his capacity to be good or even survive. Okay, literature naturally reflects this sense of self-disgust. It doesn't particularly say that readers are unhappy with literature, right? It helps explain the decline of the novel. Okay, let's just go with that. Yay! I'm glad I switched. Okay, so this is correct. This reflects the idea from paragraph 2, which is information from the question stem, which information from the question stem supports. Why is D incorrect? This is tempting, but audience opinions of literature are mentioned in other parts of the passage and not in relation to the claim made in the question stem. All right. So this, I try not to look at this little part, right? Because it kind of helps you. If you know this, you kind of helps you with the rest of your answers, like main idea. So the passage main idea, history can take literature's place as major presenter of humankind's story. This is the and look at how and what would be really helpful is for to watch the passage analysis, and maybe I'll just do that um after doing like one day. Maybe tomorrow I can just do it, solve it, and I can watch the passage analysis. But you are more than welcome. You really definitely should, because I think it would be really helpful to watch the passage analysis. Okay, let's go to the next question. Based off paragraph 6, the author would most likely favor which of the following history books? Off of paragraph, okay, so paragraph 6 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Historians start with a great advantage over fiction writers in that our characters, being public, are important. They are the captains and kings, saints and fanatics, traders and explorers, thinkers and creators. They may be evil or corrupt or mad or stupid, but at least by virtue of circumstance or chance or office or character, they matter. They are the actors not acted upon and are consequently that much more interesting. Okay. So they would definitely recommend a history book. The common people of ancient Rome, no, because it wouldn't be about common people. History of the world and turned objects. No, it's not about objects. The fighting emperors of Byzantium, probably 1770, America and Britain at war. So it's about the heroes, right? Like fictional characters, captains, kings, saints, or fanatics, traders, explorers, thinkers, creators. Yeah. All right, D is correct. This answer is the best one because the title indicates this book deals with interesting and important characters, emperors. According to the author, history will be more important than, according to the author, history will be more important than literature, is more interesting than literature, is full of fascinating people, it matters more than literature. Thus, D is completely wrong, right? And this is too strong. I feel like he's explaining the decline of the novel, but it's not really saying that history is more important. Definitely history is more interesting, is full of fascinating people, I would say, right? It's not to say history excludes as squalid and depraved, but being concerned as it is with the reality and subject as it is to certain disciplines that deals with these in proportion to the whole, historians provide a one-way screen on the past through which one can see man at one time or another committing every horror, indecency, or idiocy that he is capable of today, but it also lights flashes beacon lights along the way to the future, and it is a useful nostrum against despair. With literature lost, the task can fall to historians to tell the human story, what the human story is about. Okay. Like it's all about why literature is lost, right? It's not really saying that one is more interesting than the other. Um, I mean, one is more factual than the other. Um, real people, real events. It concentrates more on real people because, and heroes or villains, because a man, it's about gaining an understanding of what um, a human being is. Okay, so matters more than others is full of fascinating people. History is full Yeah, it's full of fascinating people. History is more interesting than literature. I don't know if the author is saying that it is. They are actors, not acting, and much more interesting. Okay, so history is more interesting than literature, because even literature can have fascinating people. I'm just gonna pick B. No! Oh my god, the first one was better. This is the C is the better, it's full fascinating. This is the best answer because it reflects one of the primary reasons why the author believes history is better than literature. Oh my goodness. And why is it not B? It is not B. B is tempting, but the author never quite makes his claim. Okay. More, it's not much more. It makes it more, the actors, like the fascinating people, is what makes it more interesting. Not that it's more interesting than literature, I suppose. Okay. All right, we're on question number 5. We're on a roll today. Assume that a historian is writing a book about the American Revolutionary War. The author of the passage probably would say that the book should try to be accurate, influential, entertaining, hopeful. I have to read it again. I just got lost while reading it. I think I'm a little bit faster than the last time I was doing this, which is great, I suppose. Supposed to be doing this faster. Assume that a historian is writing a book about the American Revolutionary War. The author of the passage probably would say that the book should try to be. Assume that a historian is writing a book about the American Revolutionary War. The author would say that the book should try to be accurate, influential, entertaining, helpful. I would say hopeful. I mean, he talks a lot about like the glub reality that people are faced with when when they read literature. Like, I don't know, fictional literature might be sounding fake to them, but it's not like a real depiction of themselves. So entertaining, hopeful, accurate. Hopeful. American Revolutionary War. People don't want to. Literature naturally reflects a sense of self-disgust. Okay, so maybe people are more inspired? I'm just going through anything that catches my eye. Okay, more interesting. They are actors not acted upon and are consequently that much more interesting. It's not to say that history excludes the squalid and depraved, but being concerned as it is with reality and subject as it is to certain disciplines, it deals with these in proportion to the whole. Historians provide a one-way screen onto the past through which one can see man at one time or another committing every horror, indecency, or idiocy. Okay, so it's not really hopeful. It's entertaining, entertaining, influential. Probably more entertaining, I suppose. Ah, no. Accurate. This is the best answer. An accurate history would avoid the distortion distortion problem that the author thinks is why literature is in decline in paragraph 3 and 4. Oh, wow, this is deep. And what is so good about history in the last few paragraphs of the passage? Okay, because it's real. Yeah, I missed that boat. I missed that. How did I do that so wrong? It's incorrect, entertaining. The answer is all right, especially given the author's concern with how unentertaining literature seems to have become, as stated in paragraph 1 to 4. It is not necessary to be the argument, though, and so not as good as A. Oh my God. Hopeful. This answer is incorrect because literature's focus on depressing characters in paragraph 2 and 3 only counts for a small part of the author's critique of literature. This was difficult. I mean, it would help probably to watch the passage analysis for this question especially. Last question. Which of the following, if true, would most directly challenge the author's arguments? Recent technological advancements have vastly improved the world. Readers find history books more difficult to read than fiction books. Most popular history books focus on how normal people lived in the past. Readers gravitate towards books with interesting and important characters. I would say directly challenge. Well, this would agree with him, right? Reader, this was written in 81. Recent technological advancements have vastly improved the world. It's not really like a main like author's argument. Like this is not like the main point, right? This is why he said the destruction of the environment and nuclear weapons and all that he was explaining in this paragraph. It was only for the decline of the novel. Readers find history books more difficult to read than fiction books. The most popular history books focus on how normal people lived in the past. This would probably challenge it the most, I think. Readers find history books more difficult to read than fiction books. Because it's proposing history books as like the new form of consumption, new form, new type of reading that people do now. So why would they find it more difficult, right? I don't know about this. The most popular history books focus on how normal people lived in the past. I don't think he would say that. Like, I mean, it does focus quite a bit on the captains and kings, saints and fanatics, traders and explorers, thinkers and creators, and squalid and depraved. But I wouldn't say that the squalid and depraved are in the category of normal people that lived in the past. So I'm going to stick with that. Oh my God. Oh. Well, I mean, yeah, I see. Oh God, now I see it. So C, this is correct answer because it contradicts the author's claims about how histories are written about the great actors of the past from paragraph 6. Okay, so he did, and I was directly reading that. And why is it not B? This answer might be tempting because it discusses both literature and history, but how difficult either is to read is not a problem that the author worries about. Okay, I get it. My eyes are getting tired looking at this for some reason. I don't know why. Have I been on the computer too long? Oh, this is different. Past main idea. History can take literature's place. Oh no, this is the same thing. Okay, so I guess that is it for now. and I got the last. I get so bummed out when I get it wrong, right? And I was also looking at this too. Um, Certainly goes to show that how much more practice I need with this. All right, hopefully, if you're watching this, because I nobody's watching the live stream, I can see. If you're watching this uh, on the replay, and I hope you find this helpful, consider subscribing, consider liking this video, and leaving a comment for me, just so that I can continue doing this because I would love to continue doing more videos of me learning and studying, and hopefully together we can do well on the MCAT and get into medical school. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Join me on Friday as I go through some articles and for non-study a stream. Bye.